Hi, and welcome to Lunch with Lisa, and today we're gonna kolache this place. It's Lunch with Lisa. Thanks so much for tuning in. I had a hankering to make kolache the other day, and I saw somebody post about it, and I was like, oh, I'm Czech. I have recipes. Maybe I could try it. But I didn't want to just do the recipes I have. I wanted to make a healthy version. Now, it's not super healthy. I'm gonna put a little sugar in there because, I mean, hello, bon maman is like one of my favorite preserves, and they use such good ingredients with cane sugar, lemon juice concentrate. They have nothing else in here except cherries, sugar, brown cane sugar, concentrated lemon juice, fruit pectin. Come on! Cherry preserves are the best. So I'm gonna make some cherry kolache, and then I found this organic Signature Select peach preserves. So I'm gonna make some peach kolache. They're organic peaches, organic cane sugar, fruit pectin, ascorbic acid, vitamin C, citric acid. That's all that's in this one too. So I figured, sure, the sugar content would kick you out of a fat burn, but sometimes you just gotta splurge for the holidays. Like, no guilt. Do not guilt yourself. So here's my holiday tip for you. Choose one dessert that you want to splurge on and eat that dessert. Don't deprive yourself, because then you're gonna end up binging on it later. Eat the dessert. Choose one day that you're gonna just eat whatever you want. Heck, one meal for that one day, and just eat whatever you want. And then stop when you're full. Give yourself some leeway this holiday season not to be perfect, and enjoy yourself just as much as everybody else and not feel deprived, because you are not deprived and you don't have to be deprived, and you can still lose weight. Just make sure you are being mindful about everything that crosses those lips. And another great tip is to track everything that you eat, and that really helps put it in perspective. So this holiday season, I'm gonna be making something that reminds me of my family and state of Texas, because there's a lot of Czech people here, and I am one of them. So I found this Keto Bread mix. You can find it in my Amazon store. Just go down to the link below and click on my Amazon affiliate link. We'll see how this works, because the recipe I found from Ketonia Foods is actually using the Ketonia bread mix, but I couldn't find it. We're using this bread mix today, and fingers crossed it works. This has resistant tapioca starch, egg white, psyllium husk, chicory, inulin, flax seeds, acacia gum, xanthan gum, sea salt, and modified cellulose. We're going to try this out. Zero net carbs. I read some people saying this wasn't truly keto. But I will tell you that I saw some other comments saying that it didn't spike anybody's blood sugar. Now, what you can do to keep this truly keto is to get some low carb or no sugar preserves. And I did find those in the store, but I just could not resist this cherry preserves. They're so delicious. So the first things first is we have to make the dough, and we're gonna have to let that rise for about an hour. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that started. You wanna have some warm water, so I have a cup of warm water here. So I'm gonna get the yeast. This is instant dry yeast. I'm gonna get that started in the warm water first. Oh, I can already smell it. It smells so good. I love bread. Now we're gonna add in keto bread mix to the bowl. Whoop. Hey, I did not try this recipe out before making it with you guys, because, I mean, all the ingredients cost money. But if it works, great, I'll make it again. It just says to dump everything in the bowl, and then I'm gonna mix it for a couple minutes. And then I'm just gonna give this a little mix to break the yolk. It's really loud. So that egg was good. This egg is good too. Okay, so we got the egg in there. 1 tablespoon room temperature butter. And I have this really cool butter keeper that keeps the butter inside water, and so it doesn't grow mold, and you can keep it at room temperature. So I'm just gonna scoop this up into a tablespoon. And I'm using my favorite butter, Kerrygold grass-fed butter. So delicious. You don't have to use that kind of butter. I usually save it to like put on my sourdough bread. and room temperature so that it can get incorporated, I'm sure. And then my favorite sugar substitute is Swerve. It tastes like sugar. It's so good. You can definitely buy this in my Amazon store. We're gonna do half a cup. We're gonna do 1 teaspoon honey, but that's gonna help feed the yeast. Maybe I'll put it in the water with the yeast. You can tell I've had that honey for a long time. No, you can't. Maybe it's gotten crystallized. All right, so I'm gonna add this to everything. I'm gonna mix it up using either a wooden spoon or a rubber spatula. It's already super loose, so I feel like I've already lost. Oh man. It's coming together. I mean, it is tapioca. Maybe it'll absorb all that liquid and become a dough. So I'm like, been making a bunch of sourdough bread, and I think that's just where I'm kind of getting screwed up, because I have to realize this is keto bread. It's not gluten, it's not wheat. So it's gonna act a little differently. All right, that was about 2 minutes. Just gonna scrape off my spatula, and we're gonna leave this for 1 hour. I'm gonna cover it with this pizza pan. Just fits nicely over this bowl. And I'm gonna let it sit for 1 hour. I'm gonna start my watch. I'm gonna stick it in my oven and turn the light on so it has a nice warm place, because it's kind of cold in my house right now. I love it. See you guys in an hour. My dough has been resting for 1 hour. It didn't rise or anything. It got a little bubbles in it. I've measured it out, about 709 grams. I want to divide this up. I'm gonna make mini kolache because I only want to have a bite full. That way I can choose how much I eat with all the sugar from the jams. So the recipe is for 12 kolache, but I'm gonna divide it in half even more by 24. That means about 30 grams per kolache. So I'll just use my scale, and you can find one similar on my Amazon store. We're gonna shape them into rectangles and put them on parchment paper, and then cover them and put them back into the oven to rise. It's really sticky. I don't know if it's supposed to be sticky. I don't know. We're just gonna work with this. Yeah. I'm gonna set my scale with my empty bowl so I know how much that one weighs. They're probably about the same. I can scoop out about 30 grams. These might not end up being squares. Okay, so that's about 30 grams. I'm just gonna dollop them. You're supposed to like roll it out and cut them into squares, but this dough ain't gonna roll. So we're just gonna roll with it, because that's what I like to do, improvise. And look, I'm not even using the scale. Doesn't really matter. What matters is you have fun and that you get something that hopefully you can eat at the end. And if you can't eat it at the end, then hopefully you learned something you can cook again next time. Stuff doesn't have to be hard, and you don't have to fear failure, because I like to say failure is just your first attempt in learning. There's no such thing as failure. Like, even my first few sourdough loaves were bad. But I learned, and I kept trying to figure out, okay, what did I forget? What did I do? So if it was perfect the first time, I wouldn't have learned anything. And then I probably would have gone back to make more sourdough and not done a good job. Now I've learned from having to do it so many times that I'm able to, you know, do it like a pro, something like that. I don't know, I'm not making any sense. So far, 3, 6, 9, 12. So I might not have 24. Ooh, 23, huh? I was so close, so close. 23 works for me. Okay, I love these dough scrapers. You can really get in the bowl and just scrape it down. Get all the stuff out. I have no idea how I'm gonna cover these. Just gonna use some plastic wrap just so they don't dry out. Hopefully they don't stick too bad to it. Then I'm gonna stick them in the oven with the light on, and we'll see if they do anything in 1 hour. They may not. All right, pray to the baking gods that works. All right, they've been rising in the oven for about an hour, just with the light on. The oven wasn't on at all. They haven't really changed much in size, but I've been poking around a little bit and I can see that there are bubbles in there. So I know it did do something. So I'm gonna go through each one and just kind of open up the center because it's so sticky. And then once I get these centers kind of opened up, I'm supposed to just be able to like push a thumbprint down, but it just sticks to my fingers, as you can see. I'm also preheating my oven to 375, so that should take a little bit. So I just have some egg mixed with some water for an egg wash. So I'm going to do the egg wash first. Seems to be going pretty good. And then I'm going to take, oh my God, this one's hard to open. You'll have these, oh my God. They help so much. My poor wrist hurts now. Whoa, that was easier. So I'm just going to take a little bit, like a teaspoon or so, and stick them down in the center of each one. It tastes so good. It's not really that sweet. It's good. Good for the keto diet. Not super sweet, like homemade. It is. Like it has 50 calories per tablespoon and only 13 grams of carb. So it's really not that bad per tablespoon. Oh, you guys, I could just eat this by itself. If you haven't tried the cherry preserves, it's so good. Then I'm gonna stick these in the oven and pray to the oven god. All right, we'll be back. Starting to look toasty on top, but not on the bottom. Oh my God, they smell so good. All right, the ones on the bottom shelf did not get brown right away, so I'm gonna leave those in there for a little bit longer. But oh my God, look how these turned out. Ah! They look so good. They're hot. They could probably stay in there a little bit longer, but they probably need to set up because this jelly is moving around. So I'm gonna let these finish and I'll be back in a little bit. All right, I've pulled them out of the oven. They're nice and golden brown. They're not quite cooled off yet, but I could not resist coming and showing you and taking a bite myself. Look at that color. They just turned out so beautifully. Yes. Okay. I honestly didn't think this was gonna work at all, but it worked so well. These are low-carb kolache. Low-carb kolache. I thought I made them small, but I made them pretty big. All right. They definitely don't taste like normal kolache. The breading is off, but hey, in a pinch. But I've never had them warm like this right out of the oven. No, this bread isn't bad. It's pretty like squishy. Got lots of like aeration going on in there. And then the best bite. Okay, so that was the cherry. Sweet cherry, and kind of tart. Not too sweet. Like I love Bon Maman. It's not super sweet. And then this peach one, same thing. Is there a cat hair? There's a cat hair in there. Same thing with this peach one. It is not that sweet. Oh, look at that. So delicious, y'all. It won't spike your blood sugar, especially if you use sugar-free jelly or jam or preserves. Very delicious, y'all. Hits the kolache spot for now. All right, recipes down below. I hope you guys give this a shot. I'm gonna put my version down and I'm gonna give you the version that I was inspired by. Oh, this is delicious. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the flip side. Thanks for tuning in. It's lunch with Lisa. Kolache, kolache, kolache. Kolache, 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 kolache.